So the other day, I was bored out of my fishy brain, and I started searching for other game modes besides ordinary battle royal. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the precise moment I discovered Blitz mode. And from the very first match, I fell deeply in love with this game mode. So today, I, Professor Finn, tactical mastermind and professional intellectual, shall attempt to win a few matches of Blitz mode. And quite frankly, it should be extremely easy. And spoiler alert, I win in the end. Now for those unfamiliar with Blitz mode, allow me to explain. Everything is dramatically faster. The storm closes quicker. Players appear instantly, loot is everywhere, and fights begin approximately 0.7 seconds after landing. There is no time for hesitation. No time for fear. No time for emotional instability. Only speed, chaos, and pure survival. Which, quite frankly, makes it the perfect environment for a tactical genius such as myself. And yes, I know half of you little slimy 12-year-olds were already aware of how it works, but please, I must maintain continuity. And besides, I absolutely love explaining things. Also, another thing I absolutely love is how quickly purple loot or above is generously donated to me by the players I eliminate. Truly an endgame experience from the very beginning. No miserable grey pistols. No depressing common shotguns. Only power, wealth, and advanced weaponry. It is as though the game mode itself recognizes my intellectual superiority and rewards me accordingly. Alright, it is now time to search for these players and demonstrate my true skill. My unmatched mechanics. My flawless decision making. My gigantic fishy brain capacity. And yes, there you are. Please, allow yourselves to get completely demolished by me in order to make this victory all the more effortless for my superior intellect. Let us attempt to speed up Blitz mode even further, shall we? Why waste valuable time surviving when you could simply hand over your loot and accept defeat immediately? Let me cleanse Pleasant Park of anybody that isn't me. Frankly, I am deeply offended that you would even consider landing in my presence, and therefore it must be punished immediately. This location is now under the complete tactical ownership of Professor Finn. Any unauthorized individuals remaining in the area shall be swiftly removed from existence and escorted directly back to the lobby. Come on. Just stand still and allow me to eliminate you already, you incredibly annoying individual. Your constant movement is doing nothing but delaying the inevitable. If you continue to resist and refuse cooperation, I shall be forced to respond with even greater levels of brute force and tactical aggression. Okay, fine. Just do not say I didn't warn you. You did this to yourself. You chose this path. I offered you the opportunity for a quick and honorable defeat, yet you insisted on resisting the inevitable consequences of challenging Professor Finn. Ooh, a hammer. I have not seen one of these magnificent devices since Chapter 4. My, even nostalgia is hitting me with tremendous force right now. The memories. The chaos. The completely reasonable amounts of property destruction. Ah yes, simpler times indeed. Okay, so I do not remember how many videos ago I addressed this problem, but one of the only unfortunate things about having such magnificent loot everywhere is that you genuinely do not know what to take. There are hundreds of incredible weapons scattered across the ground, each one more beautiful than the last, yet I can only carry 5 items at once. It is a truly devastating burden that only intelligent and successful players such as myself must endure. Lesser players would never understand the emotional pain of being forced to abandon perfectly glorious weaponry. Oh my god. The fact that you are simply standing there completely unaware of the danger that is enemy actually infuriates me beyond comprehension. What kind of survival instincts are these? Have you learned absolutely nothing from the previous players I have demolished? At the very least, demonstrate a reasonable level of fear and panic in my presence. And that goes for all of you out there as well. If you ever encounter Professor Finn in your lobby, the correct response is immediate fear, panic, and evacuation of the surrounding area. Standing still and pretending I do not exist is not a valid survival strategy and will only accelerate your inevitable defeat. Let us now begin a calculated rotational migration toward the geometric center of the storm circle in order to maximize positional superiority and minimize the probability of entrapment by hostile perimeter activity. By strategically reducing our radial distance from the zone's central coordinates, we dramatically increase our future mobility options while simultaneously decreasing rotational risk during subsequent storm contractions. In simpler words, we have to get closer to the middle. What is this? You are all fighting each other. What kind of absolute foolishness is this? Do you not understand basic threat prioritization? You should be gathering every available resource and forming a temporary alliance to eliminate the single biggest threat on this battlefield, which is me. Instead, you are wasting valuable time, ammunition, and emotional stability on petty conflicts while I observe your downfall with growing disappointment and mild academic frustration. Look at you all. Eliminating each other with such enthusiasm, unknowingly streamlining my entire victory process. It is almost impressive how efficiently you are reducing the competition for me without any request or compensation. Please continue this self-destructive cooperation. It is making my tactical evaluation significantly more convenient and my eventual triumph all the more inevitable. Alright, it is now any final player against me. If you would be so kind, sir, as to press exit match, it would be deeply appreciated and would save us both valuable time and emotional strain. However, if you choose not to cooperate, do not worry, I have absolutely no issue forcefully acquiring this victory royal through conventional tactical elimination methods. The outcome remains mathematically inevitable. Alright, it seems your demise will occur in this nice house. It's kind of like a maze. You wandered in circles, lost in my tactical phase, each hallway you chose just adds to your craze. You are trying to escape, but you're stuck in my gaze. Now I secure the victory in a number of ways. just a little poem for my enemy, and for the viewers as well. Just a little treat. Something to think about. You hid in the house, tried your very best. but failed to outperform my tactical quest. You ran out of options, you failed every test, now I take the victory royal, no contest. Viola. And just like that, all my calculated moves have led me to this moment, taking the victory royal. Every rotation, every elimination, every profoundly intellectual decision has culminated in this glorious outcome. Truly, the battlefield bends itself to my strategic brilliance, and once again, Professor Finn stands victorious. However, as I stand here victorious, I find myself strangely unsatisfied. I have won once, yes, but what if I can do it again? What if this is not the peak, but merely the beginning of a continuous cycle of dominance? Perhaps victory is not an endpoint, but a habit. And I intend to form it. Alright, let us return to Pleasant Park again. After all, it is the very foundation of my victory. The birthplace of my tactical dominance, my calculated chaos, my intellectual supremacy on the battlefield. If greatness has an origin, then surely it is here, and I intend to remind everyone of that fact once more. The only key difference this time is that I intend to eliminate opponents far faster than before. Every second will be optimized, every engagement executed with precision, every movement reduced to pure tactical efficiency. And hear me clearly when I say this. You will pay for what you have done. And what have you done to deserve this fate, you may ask? Not because of anything rational, not because of any grand crime, but because you had the unfortunate timing to exist in my lobby at the exact moment I decided to lock in absolute dominance. Ah, poor player. It appears he has witnessed the elimination of his teammate and is now expressing emotional distress by firing in my direction. How understandable, yet misguided. I must offer my sincere apology, sir, but if you have an issue with the tactical decisions I have made, and you are upset about your friend being sent back to the lobby, then you are more than welcome to join me. It is nothing personal, of course, merely the natural consequences of entering my Blitz mode vicinity. Another one. What is this, the entire lobby acting on shared emotional networking protocols? Why are you all suddenly coordinating attacks on me specifically? I already explained the optimal strategy for your own survival, simply exit the match and preserve your dignity while simultaneously accelerating my victory. By continuing to engage me, you are actively investing time into an outcome that has already been resolved at a statistical level. I do not tolerate disorganized resistance. This is not a revolution, this is not a coordinated uprising, this is simply a group of players making suboptimal decisions against an overwhelmingly superior tactical presence. Y'all are turning Pleasant Park into an absolute massacre site the way you keep coming straight toward me. It is genuinely astonishing how consistently you are selecting the most dangerous possible direction and committing to it with full confidence. At this point, it is less of a battle and more of a voluntary procession toward elimination, and I am merely facilitating the outcome. However, am I surprised? No. I am not surprised. Because greatness, no matter how immense, is always tested, always challenged, always targeted by forces that wish to break it. But greatness does not break. It does not fade. It does not yield under pressure. Greatness endures. It adapts. It evolves in real time under extreme conditions and still produces optimal outcomes despite overwhelming opposition. It cannot be stopped, it cannot be outplayed, it cannot be reduced. And today, it simply continues its natural function, victory. This is quite embarrassing for the rest of you to witness. How do I even phrase this? I suppose what I'm trying to say is, it is genuinely adorable how confidently you all believe you are in control of this situation. Even more adorable is the assumption that forming temporary alliances somehow alters the underlying math of this encounter. Unfortunately for you, your coordination does not magically rewrite probability, nor does panic disguised as teamwork improve survival outcomes. At best, it simply makes the conclusion arrive faster. I sometimes wonder what it must be like to be you dropping into this situation, reacting in real time, trying to process pure chaos as it unfolds around you, but fortunately for me, I've always operated on a slightly different level of analysis. While others experience confusion, I experience patterns. While others see randomness, I see structure. While others react, I calculate, and in this particular simulation that difference tends to be quite noticeable. If you didn't quite comprehend what I just said there, it's okay. Not everyone processes information at the same speed or level of complexity. But basically what I was illustrating is that I operate on a very different tactical framework compared to what you are currently experiencing in real time. And that difference tends to explain most of what you are witnessing in this match. It is honestly quite something to witness. Only 3 players remaining in the match. You could have potentially altered the flow of this outcome if earlier decisions had been directed more efficiently, focusing less on internal conflicts and more on positioning strategy and survival priorities. But of course, that is easier said than executed in real time. Not everyone processes engagements at the same analytical speed, and that is completely understandable. So I will simply allow this situation to continue unfolding as it currently is, and observe the final phase of the match as it naturally resolves itself. Oh, would you look at that, only 1 opponent remaining. Note the complete lack of surprise on my end. At this stage, it is simply a matter of locating the final remaining player who appears to be attempting maximum stealth protocol in a rapidly collapsing scenario. Sir, I must admit, your ability to delay the inevitable has been mildly impressive in a purely observational sense. You have successfully transitioned from participant to final variable in this match outcome. Now the only remaining task is simple: locate, assess, and conclude the final engagement sequence. Come on. Just let it happen already. The match is practically over anyway, so we might as well conclude this final engagement efficiently and with minimal unnecessary complications. At this point, you are simply extending the inevitable conclusion of the round while simultaneously increasing my levels of tactical impatience. My. You truly must not know who you are challenging right now. It genuinely astonishes me that after witnessing the complete collapse of every previous opponent, you still chose to continue this engagement with full confidence. The data was available. The evidence was visible. And yet you still volunteered yourself as the next participant in this rapidly unfolding tactical disaster. Yeah, that's right. Get the out of my game, you stubborn fool. Once again, through calculated rotations, superior adaptability, and completely reasonable amounts of confidence, the professor stands victorious.